Hey guys, back for another video. This video is on cleanup crews, as you know, and cleanup crews are basically, as I said in another video, are just basically little bottom feeding animals that are going to be keeping your tank clean. So yeah, basically in this video I'm going to be talking about what I have in my tank, and what cleanup crew members I recommend, and what cleanup crew members I do not recommend, and I'll give the reasons why. Alright, let's get right into this. Let's start off with my urchin. This is a pincushion urchin. You can see a complete detailed video on my experience with him in How To Purple Sea Urchin. If you look on my channel, you can see that video. Alright, he's great, fantastic. I highly recommend any type of sea urchin, really. I mean, they're going to plow through your algae, especially hair algae, and they're beautiful, first of all. This video makes him look kind of brown, but he's really just bright, like pink and purple, just beautiful, and receives a lot of attention. And so basically, just yeah, if you want someone to plow through your tank and provide a lot of color, I highly recommend a sea urchin. They get about I've heard 5 inches in diameter, so they will kind of get a little bit big. Also, I do not recommend them if you have certain butterflies, because they will eat the little tube feet on these guys. Okay, the pincushion urchin. Then there's, right there, the big snail, is a Mexican turbo snail, also just called a turbo snail or turbo grazer. And he's great. He basically does the same thing my urchin does, except he's a little bit smaller and he's a little bit faster about moving around the tank. A little less pretty, but much cheaper. This guy was probably $2 for a good sized turbo snail. This guy was about $10, I guess. Someone was calling. Anyway, turbo snails. Don't know where he went. Turbo snails are basically a faster, cheaper version of your urchins, because urchins are going to be a little bit more pretty, but they're $10 each rather than the turbo snails, which are around $1 to $2 each if you get a big one. Alright, that's turbo snails and urchins. Okay, now these little cerith snails. Cerith snails, that's one right there. They're all on the bottom. I have about 300, if not more than that, in my tank. And they're teeny tiny little snails that are basically getting all the little tiny bits of algae that your other guys are going to miss. Your urchins and your turbo snails are all going to miss this kind of stuff. They're going to get into little crevices and get up all the algae, and they'll get like little detritus. They'll get like debris, that everything else that will get caught somewhere small, and they'll take care of that. But they're great. I mean, I bought maybe 300 of these from reefcleaners.com for probably $3, $4. So definitely pick up tons of these. They're definitely going to do a lot in your tank. Alright, Nirite snails, or Nirite snails, whatever. That's one right there on the rock. And they're great too. They basically are smaller than turbo snails, and their shells are a little bit prettier. They have, you can see the black and white patterns on them, and they're really pretty. But they're going to be cleaning up your algae as well. Just so they're going to be smaller, which means you're going to eat less, which is going to mean you're going to want more. And they cost less than turbo snails. Alright, I have maybe 5 or 6 in my tank of the Nirite snails, or Nirate snails. And there's my turban snail, also known as the star shell snail. That one right there. And they're great too. They're basically doing the same thing a Nirate snail is. And their shells are pretty too. Great for, by the way, you're going to want a lot of snails too, because once the snail dies, and snails don't live all that long usually, your hermit crabs in turn can get those empty shells and move into them once they get bigger. Which moves me on to hermit crabs. I have 5 scarlet reef hermit crabs. There's one right there. That's one of my scarlet reef hermit crabs. And they are great too. They will eat your algae. They're going to eat your cyanobacteria, which is the reddish, brownish muck goo that you're going to see over everything. They'll eat that. They'll eat all the food that the fish miss, and all that little stuff. They're basically just going to be getting every little tiny thing out of your tank that everyone else is going to miss because they're too big. They're also kind of funny too, because you'll see them just kind of walking around the rock. Sometimes they'll fall off of the rock and just land in the sand. They're just kind of cool looking. Just especially when they get up to the glass and you can see them up close. It's just really cool. Besides my scarlet reef hermit crabs, I have two, I believe them to be blue leg hermit crabs or something like that. That's one right there with a little cerith snail on him. They're more. I ordered 3, only 2 came, but the third one died during shipping, sadly. But I got 2 from reefcleaners.com. And they're really cheap too, but Reef Cleaners is definitely a good place to get them from. But they're definitely, I prefer scarlet reef hermit crabs because they're a little bit more peaceful, and personally I like the way they look better. I like the red. They stand out more than, they're going to stand out more than your blues for me. But some people, you know, they're interchangeable really. But the red ones, the scarlet reef hermit crabs, are a little bit more peaceful from what I've heard and from what I've seen. The hermit crabs are going to kill snails here and there, so expect your snail population to go down a little bit, but it really isn't that much of a problem. Okay, shrimps. I have my bumblebee shrimp, who I never see. I'm not sure really what he does for the tank, but he will be getting little things from the bottom. I got my peppermint shrimp in there, along with my camel shrimp, and they're great. They'll clean up the tank and get all the food everyone misses. And also my peppermint shrimp will clean my fish every once in a while, especially my self and algae blenny or lawnmower blenny. He'll clean him every once in a while. Camel shrimp not so much, but definitely my peppermint shrimp. So yeah, they're going to be keeping your fish clean along with your tank usually. I have a complete detailed video on my experience with them called How to Peppermint, Camel, and Bumblebee Shrimps. Not sure the order of the names, but yeah, look out for that. You can go on my channel and check that video out for a completely detailed video on these 3. There's my Scarlet Skunk Cleaner Shrimp, which I also have a video on if you want to check that out. I make videos for every individual thing I have in my tank. He's great. He's going to be getting all the food that everyone misses. Also, he does clean fish. That's what they're known for, and that's what he does. And he's also very beautiful and not shy. Right? He's being shy right now, but usually he's swimming all around the tank and climbing on things, getting a lot of attention too. I have a serpent star. I have a big, huge 6-inch serpent star, and I also have a tiny little albino serpent star. My huge one should be in the cave somewhere, and he's great. He definitely gets rid of dead spots, definitely. Dead spots are when your water kind of will hit a rock and then has nowhere to go, and that will stop circulation for everything behind it. It will have no water circulation. He definitely takes care of that. He goes under your rocks, cleans up everything. I've seen my nitrates go down because of him, and you can, again, you can see him a detailed video on him as well, How to Serpent Star. That's great though. Those are all my cleanup crew members. Another cleanup crew, crabs. Crabs are there's tons of crab species people use to clean up your tank. There's emerald crabs, Sally Lightfoot crabs, arrow crabs, pom-pom crabs. All those are a lot of people have them, but the reason I don't have any of those, from what I've read and from what I've seen, I just am kind of wary about those crabs. Not so much pom-pom crabs, but the other 3. I don't know, I mean, I love the way they look, but I wouldn't want to put my fish in jeopardy or my shrimps or anything like that. Emerald crabs are most of the time fine, but I did not want to take that chance.